Hello, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Opportunity. I'm Shannon Austin.
I'm Johan Bossini.
This week, we're back with part 2 of our fireside chat with Carlos Eduardo Brandt. He leads the team in charge of Pix as a senior advisor at the Central Bank of Brazil. Quona co-founder Jonathan Whittle sat down with Carlos to talk about the massive impact of Brazil's real-time payment system.
In part 2 of this conversation, we'll explore how Pix has affected financial inclusion in Brazil since its launch in 2020. Pix is now the most used payment instrument in Brazil. More Brazilians use Pix for transactions instead of debit cards, credit cards, prepaid cards, and any other billing instrument across the country. And this has been achieved in 4 short years.
Pix reaches more than 90% of Brazil's adult population, and 77% of all merchants are using Pix for real-time payments. Today, Pix sees more than 5 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, transactions per month. Here's part 2 of Jonathan's conversation with Carlos.
You talk about Pix as an infrastructure for public good. What is the tangible impact that this has on lower income segments or on underserved micro businesses? Can you give us some examples of what this means in terms of improved access to financial services for these segments?
Financial inclusion was a key public objective that we had in mind when we launched Pix. So more than 70 million people made their first digital transaction with Pix. And we have now 220 almost people in Brazil. So that accounts for almost 1/3 of the whole Brazilian population that has been included into the ecosystem with Pix. By the means I've mentioned in terms of having a low-cost solution, intuitive and easy-to-use solution. And when we take a look of how the adoption is on geographies, on gender, on income levels, we see that they are very much spread geographies, all income levels, all gender type as well. And so that kind of shows how powerful the inclusion has been in the first 4 years of Pix operations. But it's also important to take into consideration that those small and micro businesses, they now have a digital solution to receive payments in a very low-cost way, easy way, and reaching a lot of people. If we take into consideration also that when people start to use a digital payment, and of course, payments are things that people need in their day-to-day life, right? They start to get exposed and to get access to other financial services. So now those individuals that were included, they now have access to investment, to credit, to insurance, and so on. So Pix has not been only a good way to offer payment solutions, but also offer other types of financial services. But then if we think beyond the financial system itself, we can analyze how Pix was important for the digital inclusion, and that connects to the micro and small businesses. Because people, especially in the digital space, people wanted to get digital services, right? Buy online and so on, but they didn't have a way to pay. Even for those people that had transactions account back then, they might not have a credit card, for example. And before Pix, most of the online businesses was relying on credit card transactions.
You couldn't use your debit card for online payments.
You couldn't use a debit card.
Yeah.
So that was a big boost and a big change for online businesses and also for small and micro businesses, because they now can reach 90% of the adult population, right? So in that sense, more than financial inclusion itself, we see as a digital inclusion.
When we think of Pix, we often have a very simplistic view of it, which is, okay, transfer of money. But your product roadmap, if you will, is actually quite a bit more complex and quite interesting.
So starting with the Pix itself, so we have rolled out some very interesting products, but from now on, we are working on P2M new solutions. As I said, P2M is not only one big use case, but there are a lot of subtypes of use cases. We're working right now on recurring payment. So solutions for subscriptions for schools, for health plans, for financial services, and so on. So it's called AutoPix. So that's something that we are working on right now in a way that we're going to have a very good, safe, cheap, and inclusive solutions for recurring payment needs. We're also working on NFC payments, so contactless payments in Pix. So that's going to be very important for in-store transactions because the UX in store right now is not the best one because you have to read the QR code and so on. Just a tap and go type of payments is going to improve a lot the UX in-store transactions. And so those are the new features and products that we are working on. If we take a broader view, we're not working only in Pix, but we are also working on open finance. We're working on digital or CBDC. So that's the DREX project.
Digital currency.
Yeah, digital currency and so on. So the open finance kind of adds to Pix, especially in the payment block of the open finance. So as a payment initiator, service providers, giving more flexibility, or bringing more players to offer payment solutions, innovative solutions, solutions for specific needs, and so on. But also we have the DREX project, which is as we said, the CBDC project, the digital currency, which will add to what Pix already offers, because Pix offers day-to-day payment solutions, and DREX is going to be more focused on tokenized or DVP type of transactions, tokenized assets, smart contracts, and so on. So that will complement what Pix already offers. So if we add Pix, open finance, and then DREX, we really believe we're building the framework and the foundation for the future of the financial system in Brazil.
Very good. Carlos, I wish we had more time to continue chatting. I just wanted to stress how important the role of the central bank has been in creating one of the most vibrant fintech communities, fintech ecosystems in the world. I mean, it's no fluke that a company like Nubank, which is today serving over 100 million clients in Brazil and is a $70 billion company, was allowed to flourish in Brazil, in part because the central bank has been so open to new entrants and so thoughtful and creative in developing the infrastructure and the regulatory certainty that has allowed these companies to flourish, many of which we've backed as well. So, Carlos, thank you so much. Real pleasure to meet you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
It's great to be here.
And that's a wrap on this season of the $1 Trillion Opportunity. Over the last few episodes, you've gotten to know us at Quona Capital. We debunked assumptions about emerging markets and talked about the future of generative AI and global fintech. Next year, we'll be back with longer-form episodes featuring super compelling founder stories you won't hear anywhere else. We'll cover how a founding team built one of Africa's most iconic brands for businesses. You'll hear the story of how Creditas became a lending powerhouse in Latin America. And we'll have an episode about how insurtechs in India and Southeast Asia are changing the game for wellness and financial resilience, and much, much more. We can't wait to share these stories with you.
You won't want to miss it. Follow the $1 Trillion Opportunity on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or whatever you listen to podcasts on.
The $1 Trillion Opportunity is produced by Quona and Pod People. Our producers are Danielle Roth, Hannah Pedersen, and Sam Kabauer. David DeLuca edits the show. Special thanks to Rachel King and Amy Machado. We'll see you next year.